The fear of letting yourself down is one of the heaviest fears we carry. And unlike the fear of letting others down, it's harder to escape. Because no matter where you go, you can't outrun yourself. You can ignore texts, avoid people, shift responsibilities, but when it comes to yourself, there's no hiding. The voice in your head follows you everywhere. And when that voice says you're not doing enough, you're falling short, you're failing yourself, it can feel crushing. What makes this fear so powerful is that it cuts right to the core of identity. Letting yourself down isn't just about missing a deadline or skipping the gym. It feels like betrayal. You make promises to yourself. I'll finally change. I'll start fresh. I'll do better. And when you break them, the disappointment isn't coming from outside. It's internal. It's you turning against yourself. And nothing stings quite like that. Psychologically, this ties deeply into self-concept and self-trust. Every time you say you'll do something and don't follow through, your brain makes a note. I can't rely on myself. Over time, this becomes a kind of erosion of self-belief. You stop trusting your own word. And when you stop trusting yourself, even small goals start to feel impossible. Because deep down, you're thinking, why bother? I'll probably let myself down again. This is where the fear grows. Because you don't just fear failure anymore. You fear the pain of facing yourself in the aftermath. You fear the disappointment, the shame, the quiet thought at night that says, I could have done better. I should have done better. But here's the truth we rarely admit. Letting yourself down is part of being human. Nobody lives up to their ideals all the time. Nobody meets every standard they set for themselves. If you think about it, the very fact that you fear letting yourself down means you care. It means you hold yourself to something. It means you want growth. You want more. That's not weakness. That's proof that you're alive to possibility. The danger isn't in letting yourself down. The danger is in what you do after. Too often, instead of seeing it as a stumble, we turn it into an identity. I'm lazy, I'm weak, I never follow through. That inner narrative is what actually chains you. Not the missed opportunity, not the skipped workout, not the project you didn't finish. The chain is the shame. The psychology of self-compassion is key here. Studies show that people who can forgive themselves for slipping up are far more likely to get back on track than those who spiral into self-criticism. Why? Because self-compassion rebuilds trust. It says, yes, I fell short today, but I still believe in myself enough to try again tomorrow. Without that, you're stuck in a cycle. Promise, break it, hate yourself, avoid trying, repeat. So maybe the question isn't, how do I never let myself down? Maybe the real question is, how do I handle it when I do? Because you will, again and again. And the way you respond will either crush you or build you. What's inspiring here is that the fear of letting yourself down can be transformed into a compass. That fear points toward what truly matters to you. You don't fear letting yourself down about everything. You fear it in the places that hold real weight. That means there's information there. The fear is showing you what you value. And values aren't chains, they're directions. They remind you where you actually want to go. So instead of treating that fear like an enemy, you can see it as a signal. If you're afraid of letting yourself down by staying stuck in the same job, maybe that fear is telling you growth is overdue. If you're afraid of letting yourself down by staying in a toxic relationship, maybe that fear is pointing you toward the life you deserve. Fear can be a teacher if you let it. At the same time, you have to redefine what it means to let yourself down. Too often, we measure ourselves against impossible standards. Perfect discipline, perfect success, perfect progress. And then we act surprised when we fall short. But maybe you're not failing. Maybe you're expecting yourself to be superhuman. Maybe what feels like disappointment is actually proof you're still learning. The real betrayal isn't stumbling. The real betrayal is silencing your potential because you're too scared to face the sting of imperfection. That's the irony of this fear. In trying so hard to avoid letting yourself down, you risk living smaller than you're meant to. You risk never taking the leap, never starting the project, never chasing the dream, because you're scared you won't follow through. But not trying at all? That's the deepest letdown of all. Here's the truth worth holding on to. You will let yourself down, but you will also surprise yourself. You will disappoint yourself, And you will also make yourself proud. You will break promises to yourself, but you'll also keep others you never thought you could. That's the human story. It's messy, it's uneven, but it's still progress. The goal isn't perfection, it's alignment. It's building a relationship with yourself, where even when you fall short, you don't abandon yourself. Where you can say, I didn't do what I wanted today, but I still trust myself enough to try again tomorrow. Because if you can keep that trust alive, you'll always find your way back. The fear of letting yourself down will always whisper in the background, but instead of letting it paralyze you, let it remind you. You care too much to give up. You care too much to settle. And caring means you're still in the fight. And that's not failure. That's proof you're still on the path of becoming.